today, the Federal Reserve Chairman is going to meet with members of Congress to try to talk about how to stop the spiral. And White House correspondent Martha Raddatz has more from Washington. Martha?
Good morning, Diane. Now, the Federal Reserve will likely lower interest rates by ½ point to try to stave off recession. That would take a while to have any effect, but Bernanke also told lawmakers that he would support a quick temporary stimulus package, and that is what the bipartisan leadership on Capitol Hill is trying to do. They met yesterday and will be talking to the president today in a conference call. This is very high on his agenda as well, of course.
So when you're talking stimulus, what's the range of things, the range of options?
Well, what the Democrats want is this. If you are a low or middle income earner, you might expect targeted tax cuts or have your unemployment benefits extended, food stamps and Medicaid payments. Now, that's to spark spending. Now, Republicans are focusing on businesses. So if you are a small business owner, you may get a tax break to spark investment. They also want to make the president's temporary tax cuts permanent, something the Democrats have refused to do, Diane.
So tax breaks in the stimulus packages, are they big or small, and when might this take effect?
Well, it will take effect. They want it to take effect if they can come to an agreement within the next couple of months, in the first quarter. They haven't really decided on how great a tax cut would be. They just want something temporary, quick. They want people to spend money, so it could have any sort of range there, but probably on the smaller side.
And we keep hearing that the most vulnerable jobs are in the financial sectors, but of course there are a lot of other vulnerable jobs out there as well. Anything to address jobs specifically?
The president certainly wants to look at jobs. They want to look on at jobs on the Hill, and that is something they will likely be discussing this afternoon in that conference call.
All right, Martha, our thanks to you. And now for other headlines from this morning, Chris Como at the news desk. Chris, good morning.
Thank you, Diane, and good morning again, everyone. We're following breaking news outside London. A British Airways flight arriving from Beijing was making an emergency landing when it came up short from the runway, apparently skidding across the ground. Jim Sciutto is at Heathrow. Jim, we're hearing, despite this tragedy, only minor injuries.
That's right, Chris. 136 people on board, 4 minor injuries at this point, and the plane evacuated within minutes. They clearly did this very quickly, right according to plan in terms of getting people out of the plane safely. The plane landed extremely short of the runway, just clearing the fence surrounding the airport here at Heathrow and skidding hundreds of yards across the grass. The engines and landing gear torn apart as that happened. Really amazing that the plane itself didn't come apart, and that's the reason they were able to get people out safely. Pilots are saying that the weather was actually very manageable today, nothing catastrophic, and that has some people speculating there might have been a technical failure the pilots had to face. This is the very first accident involving a Boeing 777. Right now, the airport is up and running again on one of the runways. You can hear some of the planes taking off behind me now. And we're hearing that there was another narrow escape as this happened, that another plane was trying to land as this plane made an emergency landing. It had to divert very quickly and land at another airport. So 2 narrow escapes today, Chris.
All right, Jim, thank you very much for those details from the ground. Back here at home, there's more trouble in the skies to tell you about. A U.S. Navy helicopter has crashed in Texas. The chopper, similar to this one, went down in a ball of flames during a training mission near the Corpus Christi Air Station. 3 Navy crewmen were killed and others in critical condition. The chopper went down in dense fog. The FDA is warning against giving babies and toddlers over-the-counter cough and cold medicines. The FDA says parents should avoid these drugs for children under the age of 2 because they have side effects that could be life-threatening. So if you have a kid that age, no cold or cough medicine. We do have a second medical note this morning. Scientists have identified 5 gene variations that increase a man's risk for prostate cancer. They say any combination of the genes raises the risk by as much as 400%. The results are preliminary, but researchers may soon be able to test for the genes. Now to the campaign trail. Reporters following Hillary Clinton Wednesday were treated to her version of a flight attendant announcement. Take a listen.
Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to switch off the fasten your seatbelt sign. However, I've learned lately that things can get awfully bumpy, least expected. So you might want to keep those seatbelts fastened. And in the event of an unexpected drop in poll numbers, this plane will be diverted to New Hampshire. If you look out from the right, you'll see an
Senator Clinton went on to call the plane Hill Force 1. Funny. Finally, a vibrant protest that left a colorful mark on the city of Rome. An activist dumped 500,000 plastic balls down the city's famous Spanish Steps, transforming the landmark into a children's playground. The point? He said each ball represents a lie told by a politician. That is the news at 7:08. That is a lot of lies there.
And this is the same guy that put the dye in the fountain.
Red dye in the Trevi fountain. That's why there were a lot of red balls to remind. You don't
Those
like
Italians need more to do.
I don't know that he was Italian.
Yeah.
I don't know that he was one
true.
of mine.
We don't know that. I don't want to say anything about your home team there. Let's go back to Sam for more of a...
Good morning, Diane, Rob, and Chris. Good morning, everyone. As long as it's peaceful and everyone's happy. All right, let's get to the boards. We've been talking a little bit about the cold air that drops in over the weekend. For example, New York area is going to be around 40 today. By Sunday, you're in the 20s for a high temperature. So let's show you what's going on today and how that Arctic Express or Siberian Express is already opening the doors. We'll start with the damage in Fontana, California, overturned tractor trailers and things flying around in general. 58-mile-per-hour winds there, but near 100 miles per hour in Ventura County. Malibu at 65-mile-per-hour winds. This is the Santa Ana winds that are blowing through that area, and you'll continue to see them today, although they diminish greatly. Let's show you what's going on as snow accumulation in the East Coast today, as a low that's moving by is actually going to help open the door to some colder air that pulls in through the nation. We need to move these maps. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. New York City and some places just getting just on the outside edge of what will be a light hit of snow, and certainly there's some right around the Great Lakes as well. This opens the door to that cold air. Look at Fargo at 13 below. This is where we're beginning to see the tip end of that Siberian Express, but later on over the next couple of days, that cold air spreads through the nation and all the way into the eastern seaboard and the deep south. We'll talk about that certainly in the next half hour. That's the weather around the nation. Here's what you can expect this morning.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Mike Nico. Sunny today and calmer this afternoon. A quiet weather pattern through Saturday, and then look for a wintry mix next week. Wind still a problem in the East Bay Hills and Diablo Range. Gust of 45 miles per hour until 10 o'clock this morning. Temperatures today in the upper 50s to low 60s, like 59 at Concord to about 63 in Oakland. This quiet pattern changes on Sunday with a chance of rain and snow showers, and that lasts through Tuesday. Have a great day.
Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina waking up with some wintry weather this morning, and that's just the start of it, Diane.
Okay, Sam, thanks to you again. And now we have word of action about to be taken because of an ABC News investigation. Congress to hold hearings later today on the scandal involving those veterans' charities. We first broke it here on Good Morning America. Americans have donated hundreds of millions of dollars